Okay, this is chapter 11, lesson 2, divide fractions by a counting number. So yesterday, as we said earlier, we started with the whole number, and we divided the whole number by a unit fraction. What's a unit fraction again? What's an example of a unit fraction? Haman? One what?
1/15.
1/15. It doesn't even matter what second number you said, as long as you said 1, right? What else is a unit fraction, Ruba?
1/5.
1/5. What else is a unit fraction, Shelly?
1/100.
1/100th, sure. So yesterday we divided a whole number by a unit fraction. Today, our goal is to divide a fraction, so we're going to start with a fraction, and we're going to divide it by a counting number. What's a counting number? Andre?
I think it's a whole number.
It's a whole number. It's a number you use to count, right? If you count, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc. Those whole numbers are counting numbers. So today you can expect to see a fraction divided by a whole counting number. Okay? Now it says also in our learning goal that we are going to use reciprocals to help us divide these fractions. So let's talk about what a reciprocal is. Okay? A reciprocal is the inverse of a fraction. When you invert something, what do you do? When you invert something, what do you do? Sadvika?
You do the opposite.
Okay, you do the opposite, or you flip it around. Okay? So, for example, the reciprocal of 2/3, if I want to flip around the denominator and the numerator, it would be 3/2. Right? Do you see how I flipped over the denominator and the numerator? So the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. Okay, here's a trickier one. What's the reciprocal of 4? What's the reciprocal of 4? Sakshi? 1/4. How do you know that the reciprocal of 4 is 1/4?
Because 4 is the same as 4/1.
Oh, so you can think that 4 is the same as 4/1, and therefore the reciprocal, when I want to switch things around, is 1/4. Make sense? Now it's important to know that the product of a fraction and its reciprocal is always 1. When I say the word product, what mathematical operation am I talking about? Aditya? Multiplication. So if I multiply a fraction and its reciprocal, I will always get 1. Let's see if that's true. So the fraction was 2/3. What's the reciprocal? Riley? 3/2. Okay. If I multiply the fraction and its reciprocal, will I get 1? Let's multiply the top. 2 times 3 is?
6.
And the denominator, 3 times 2 is? Does that equal 1? Let's see if it's true for our second one. 4, oops, cancel. 4 times 1/4. Okay, what's 4 times, how can I write this whole number as a fraction? Ruba? 4/1, good. So what's 4 times 1 in the numerators? 4. What's 1 times 4 in the denominator?
4.
Is 4/4 1?
Yes.
So is it true that the product of a fraction and its reciprocal is always 1?
Yes.
Good. Here is our question for now. 3 friends want to share half of a pizza equally. Okay, how much pizza does each person get? So we could solve this problem in 2 ways. The first way is to use a model. What's a model again? A model is a fancy mathematical word that means what, Ria?
Picture.
A picture or a drawing, right? So let's draw a pizza. There's pizza. There's 3 friends who want to share this pizza, but do they get to share the whole pizza?
No.
They only get half. So let's draw half of that pizza. Okay? Now, if they want to share it equally, I have to divide half of that pizza into how many parts? Swati?
3 parts.
Into 3 parts. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 parts. How big is each part? How big of a piece does each person get out of the whole pizza? Remember, it's 1/3 of a half, right? How much do they get out of the whole thing? Swati? Is it 1/3? Do they get 1/3? They get 1/3 of this half, but compared to the whole pizza, how much do they get? Michaela? 1/6, right? We can see that each of these parts, if I were to draw it on both sides, it divides it into 6 equal parts. So each friend would get 1/3, this friend would get 1/3, and this friend would get 1/3. Each person gets 1/3 of the pizza. Good? Okay. The second way, though, is we can multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. Okay, what that means is, so how much of the pizza do these three friends get to share? How much of the whole pizza do they get to share amongst themselves? They each get, they have a half total that they can share, right? So we have half of the pizza, and we have to divide it into how many parts? 3, because 3 friends want to share it, right? Okay, so that's our mathematical equation. We have half the pizza, and we want to divide it into 3 parts. Now, way 2 says that I can multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. So the divisor is the number that you're trying to divide by. So in this case, our divisor is 3, right? So what's the reciprocal of 3? What is the reciprocal of 3? Chris?
3 over 1.
The reciprocal is 3 over 1? What's another way to write the whole number of 3? It's 3 over 1, right? So what's the reciprocal? If I want to switch it around, what would it be, Shelly?
1/3.
1/3. So I can take my 1/2, and as way 2 says, I can multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. Do you see how 3 is the reciprocal, or sorry, 1/3 is the reciprocal of 3? Right? So here's the word reciprocal, and this is the reciprocal of the divisor. Can we do 1/2 times 1/3? Okay, let's multiply the numerators first. 1 times 1? Okay, and let's multiply the denominator. 2 times 3.
6.
So how big of a piece does each person get?
1/6.
1/6 of the whole pizza. Okay. Now, remember, it's important that we always multiply to check, because now we know that 1/2 divided by 3 is 1/6, right? That was the answer we got. 1/2. Okay, what multiplication equation can I do to check to see if 1/2 divided by 3 really equals 1/6? What multiplication can I do? Atharva?
1/6 times 3.
1/6 times 3, which is the same as 3 over 1, right? Should equal 1/2. Let's see if it does. What's 1 times 3?
3.
What's 6 times 1?
6.
Does 3 6 equal 1/2?
Yes.
Does this prove that our answer is correct?
Yes.
Good. So how much of the pizza can each friend have? 1/6 of the pizza. Okay.